If you are listening to this right now and you feel lost in a way that is hard to explain, please know that you do not need to fix that feeling before you are allowed to rest, because being lost does not mean you are failing at life. It simply means you have reached a point where the old ways no longer guide you, and the new ways have not yet become clear. Many people think being lost is a mistake, something shameful, something to hide. But from a quiet and honest view, being lost is often the beginning of a deeper kind of understanding, the kind that cannot be rushed and cannot be forced, because it grows only when you stop pretending that you know where you are going. A monk would say that when the path disappears, it is not life abandoning you, it is life asking you to slow down enough to listen, because clear direction is not found by running faster, but by standing still long enough to hear what has been ignored. You may wake up each day with a strange heaviness, moving through routines without feeling connected to them, doing what is expected while quietly wondering how you arrived here and where you are supposed to go next. And this sense of disconnection can feel frightening because it removes the familiar feeling of control. Yet control was never the same as peace. Feeling lost does not mean you lack purpose. It often means that the purpose you are following no longer belongs to who you are becoming, and the space between who you were and who you are growing into can feel empty, confusing, and lonely, even though it is full of quiet transformation. Right now, you may feel pressure to find answers, to make decisions, to choose a direction quickly so that others do not worry or so that you do not fall behind. But life does not unfold through pressure. It unfolds through presence, and presence cannot be rushed. So for this moment, allow yourself to stop searching for meaning and simply rest in the truth that you are here, breathing, listening, and still part of this world, even if you do not understand your place in it yet. A monk understands that not knowing is not a weakness, but a sacred space, because when you admit that you do not know, you stop repeating old patterns and start opening to something new, something more honest than what you were taught to chase. When you feel lost, the mind often becomes noisy, filling the silence with comparisons, regrets, and imagined futures, asking why others seem to move forward while you feel stuck. But comparison is a cruel teacher, because it measures different journeys with the same ruler and then calls the result failure. Every life unfolds at its own rhythm, and when you try to force your rhythm to match another's, you lose touch with the quiet guidance that lives inside you, the guidance that cannot shout over noise but speaks clearly in stillness. Being lost often brings self-doubt, and self-doubt may whisper that you have wasted time, chosen wrong, or missed your chance. Yet life does not work in straight lines, and growth rarely happens where it can be easily seen or measured. A seed buried in the ground looks like it has disappeared, yet beneath the surface it is preparing to rise, and the soil that feels dark and heavy is not punishment, it is protection. If you feel like nothing is moving in your life right now, consider that something important may be forming quietly, without your awareness, because not all progress looks like forward motion. This is why a monk does not hurry when the path feels unclear, because clarity comes not from chasing answers, but from becoming still enough to notice what remains when distractions fall away. Ask yourself gently, without demanding an answer, what parts of your life no longer feel true, what expectations feel heavy, and what roles you have been playing simply to survive or to please, because feeling lost often begins when you have lived too long for something that is no longer aligned with your inner truth. You may feel tired not because you have done too little, but because you have done too much that did not nourish you. In moments like this, living becomes less about finding a grand purpose and more about returning to simple truths, such as caring for your body, honoring your limits, and allowing yourself to rest without guilt. A monk would remind you that your worth does not depend on having a clear direction, because worth is not earned through certainty, it is inherent in being alive. You are allowed to pause without explanation, to step back without apology, and to exist without knowing what comes next, because life does not punish pauses, it often heals within them. If fear arises as you sit with uncertainty, let it be there without feeding it stories, noticing how fear is often louder than truth, and how it loses strength when you stop arguing with it. You do not need to escape this moment to be safe, because safety is found in honesty, not in pretending you have answers you do not yet possess. Being lost can teach you to listen differently, to notice what drains you, what calms you, and what feels quietly right even when it does not make sense to others. This listening is subtle and slow, and it requires patience, because the deepest guidance rarely arrives as a command. It arrives as a gentle pull, a repeated feeling, or a quiet knowing that grows clearer over time. A monk does not ask, "What should I become?" but instead asks, "What must I let go of so I can be myself?" Because becoming often means shedding layers rather than adding new ones. You may need to let go of identities that once protected you, dreams that no longer fit, or timelines that were never truly yours. And letting go can feel like loss, even when it is making space for truth. If loneliness accompanies your feeling of being lost, know that loneliness does not mean you are disconnected from life. It often means you are between connections, and transitions can feel empty before they feel alive. In this space, treat yourself gently, the way you would treat someone who is healing, because harshness will not bring clarity, but kindness may. A monk trusts that life is not wasted even when it feels unclear, and that every season serves a purpose even when that purpose cannot yet be named. So for now, do not ask yourself to figure everything out. Ask yourself only to stay present, to notice your breath, your steps, and the small moments of ease that still appear, because these moments are signs that you are still connected even when you feel lost. As time passes, direction will return, not as a sudden revelation, but as a quiet alignment, a sense of rightness that grows stronger the more you honor what feels true. Until then, allow yourself to walk slowly, to rest when needed, and to trust that being lost is not the end of your journey, but a deep and necessary part of it. You are not broken, you are not late, and you are not alone. You are simply standing in a place where the old map no longer works, and a new one is being drawn within you. One breath, one moment, one gentle step at a time.